Shalom Yasharala. Before you go into this lesson, we give all honor, all glory, and all praises be to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakakodash. We give double honor to the apostles and prophets and elders of JMS Camp, better known as great minister, for the bring forth the 100% truth that I've been currently edified under. Shalom to the elect, the tabernacle of David, and I, Robert Azaria, coming through this lesson. Now, what we're dealing with today is another hidden custom which was used to keep our people at a lower state, which is the wearing of caps and hats. It's a custom which was strengthened in the time of Greek against our own people who were Hellenized in that land. And people tend to forget that point and try to mix that false information with our doctrine of Mitri and how we wear the headbands. An example to that is these small hat study because they don't have the understanding. They don't have the understanding. They are covering their crown, their foreheads, their forehead, the top of their heads. They are covering the center of their heads, their crowns. Because it's not for them. They are not the true people in that land. And many of our people still tend to believe in them rather than the way of the truth. The Bible was made verbatimly clear. Yet you all still misunderstand. So to remove that aspect and point, let's hit the information firstly by applying Isaiah 8 and 20. Let's get that precept quick. And let's hit the information and the historical points and the links to show so that we can now address what was said and mentioned prior to the Old Testament and what people believe today. It's folly, boy. It is folly. You can't tell me that there is no custom of Israel wearing caps to cover the top of their head during prayer service and whatever the case is. Yet you claim that this is how it's supposed to be done after. Why are y'all even on lives on TikTok? You're wasting time. Let me calm down. Isaiah 8 and 20. Straight to the point. And I'm making sure y'all see this up. To the law and to the testimony. If they speak not according to this way, it's because there's no light in them. Because what I'm about to bring to you adhere and lines up with our culture and practices in Israel back then, rather than what we have today. We already proved that these people on that land are not the people. Yet you still want to be in this butthurt behavior. We don't care, but we are going to address it regardless. Let's go. It says to the law and to the testimony. If they speak not according to this, that's because there's no light in them. And for those who profess and saying that what them doing there is correct, there's no light in you, sir. There's no, especially you, mister. There's no, I'm not going to call on you to get no light to your damn link, your damn live. There's no light in you. Case closed. Let's go. So let's provide some information first. All right. So the question was asked. I don't know why it's not showing here, but the question was asked. So I'm gonna go back into that a bit. Right. This is ancient. Right. This is it. It says. I mean, even show this here. But let's go. Ancient Israel head wrap had no center in them. I said with Google links and evidence to provide. Right. Because we already did the questioning on this. Of course, you can see that. All right. So with that being said, and this is the image given by the AI from the same ChatGPT. This is the image given what they would had in a lower state. When they were in a lower state, either scattered amongst the other nations or even in their land, what they would had on, aside from the priestly mitri that was given to Aaron. All right. So, which we could get into after, because these headbands were a part of our practice, and for what? Let's get into it. It says, here's what actual historical and biblical sources show about the head covering in ancient Israel and why your statement in ancient Hebrew wraps had no center in them, right? It says had no center in them is correct based on the evidence. Bible history, which is a link, or mind you, before the information has been started, there's a link that you can go into already. Let's keep going. Ancient Israelites head covering was simple cloths, not structured caps. Biblical text and historical research notes that ordinary headgear in ancient Israel weren't sewn. It's a shaped hat with a fixed center. Rather, it was a flat cloth draped or wrapped around the head, not on top, around the head when used. Another link, Jewish Encyclopedia.org. Right there, jw.org. So it shows you that the scholars and the information provided from these people show the same traits as to what we be talking about on a day-to-day basis. Yet many of our same people have a zeal of power, but not according to knowledge, want to preach differently, regardless of the Torah still standing. Y'all are off. Let's continue. Let's go to the next part. I want to miss no piece. The Bible doesn't describe fitted hat or sewn caps for every people. It says most reference to head garments or generic head cloths. Example, Rebecca's head cloth in Genesis as a shawl. A detailed overview of ancient head coverings says that Israelites often used their mantles or robes to cover their heads if needed, rather than wearing a shaped cap. Jewish JW Library. More information, more links. Let's keep going. Priestly headgear example, the Nefeth, is how it's pronounced. Turban. That's what they call it now. Turban was wrapped linen, essentially a cloth wound around the head, and not a sewn cap with a center seam. So you all need to stop with this foolishness. And we showed the information before concerning that. Like this. Going back into the information again, so you all could see it yourself. I'll not be lying. I'll be disingenuous anymore. Point 2. Archaeologists or ancient customs evidence expert on ancient Near Eastern attire explains their little direct visual evidence of how everyday Israelites covered heads in early biblical time. Studylight.org. However, one of the few reference to headgear in the ancient relief art shows cloth and cords around wounds around the head, windings, not shown headpieces. One more time. Windings, not showing headpieces. Studylight.org. Later Israelite and Near Eastern headdresses resemble square. That's later Israelite and Near Eastern headdresses resemble square cloth folds like early forms of the keffiyeh that are laid over the head and secured with cords, not sewn caps with a fixed shape. jw.org. This is exactly what you were describing, exactly what I was describing, correct? So the information is provided clear. A simple cloth piece without a center stitch or a structured crown. Just wrapped, draped, or bound. Practice ancient head coverings, cloths and folds and wraps. It says this sidra, an ancient Jewish headcloth, was simply a rectangular piece of cloth used as a head cover, scarf, or neckerchief, which is exactly what we use during our time of preaching, because we don't have the proper headgear or the money to facilitate the correct ones at the time. So what we usually use a cloth, whether it be of linen, and we tie it, we wrap it around our head, the forehead, coming to the next end, around it. No center, no sewn caps on the top. And you tie it behind, and it usually laps and winds. When the wind blows, it moves. Scholars note that the Bedouin and the Near Eastern garments often use square or rectangular cloths folded and wrapped, not tailored hats, and the same seems likely for ancient Israel. JW, JewishEncyclopedia.org. You all see I went into that site many times. So you all can't say that you all know what this site is because you all be disingenuous online. The links are provided. Stop being lazy. Go and check it yourself. Look into it. The links are provided, which would means that the headgear that has been used as caps and all these things, which are not of our customs, come from a custom of another nation, which is a heathen nation. Am I correct? And as far as we know, let's get one precept to add to that. As scriptures made very clear, Jeremiah chapter 10 and verses 1 to 2, it says, "Hear ye the word which Yahweh spake unto the children of Israel, unto the house of Israel. Thus shall Yahweh, thus saith Yahweh, learn not the way of the heathen. Be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. Learn not these ways." It is not profitable for us to learn of their ways at the end of the day. We are the true recipients that are the rightful heir of the whole earth. Why would we follow some fucking heathens that don't even know and understand what wisdom is? This is why in Leviticus it made it very clear. For you to be disobedient, you only keep these customs, you're not continuing this way, no problem. Cut your ass off. Case closed. Whosoever, scripture made it clear, as it says what? Whosoever shall commit any of these abominations, because these customs, all of them, of the heathen nations, that we have been practicing, especially in time of Greek and Egypt and these major nations that held us in captives, they are abominable. We're not supposed to partake of that. And for those who don't know, in the Greek time, caps were used. Again, in our people, it's a Greekish fashion to keep us in that state. Change up our whole regime, our whole ways of understanding and learning and adapting and statutes and customs. Change up our whole ordinances. Remove us from the covenant to keep us in a lower state. This is what they were doing. We'll get to that soon. Hold on. We'll get to that soon. Let me continue. We'll get to that soon. It says, so in context, ancient Israel head coverings are cloth wraps loosely placed on the and wrapped around the head, often tied with simple cords. No structured centers stitched like a cap. No structured center stitched like a... One more time. No structured center stitched like a cap. Summary. Ancient Israel headgear for ordinary people, it says rarely worn, routine used when needed, sun, wind, or morning, etc. JW Library. Link again. Which is Jewish Encyclopedia Library. Let's keep going. Was cloth draped or wrapped, not a sewn structured cap? Correct is right. Studylight.org. Next link. Priestly headgear, linen turban wrapped around the head. Wikipedia. No ancient Israel evidence supports hats with a sewn center panel like a modern cap. You need to stop capping. You're capping too much. Stop the cap. And we ain't done. More Google links. Here are direct pages you can explore further research. Headdresses in biblical times. It says comprehensive exploration. JW, JewishEncyclopedia.org. We always bring that out. Insight on the scriptures. Headdress. Ancient men's head covering overview, which is practical cloth-based wrap discussion, ancient men's headgear or head covering, which is Bible history. So that is the link. Ancient men's head covering, Bible history. We also have headdress encyclopedia, the 1901 Jewish encyclopedia, which you always bring on, JW, Jewish encyclopedia, historical commentary on head covering, headdress, Jewish encyclopedia. It's right there. The actual direct link to the information that you need to understand this is in this video yet again. And I'm sure I might get some fool on the platform on my YouTube commenting some foolishness even after these links are provided directly. I know this because people does not like to identify and understand what is truth. Not the truth, and what is truth. So now let's go. The question I gave here. Hats were are a Greek custom, and then provide the information, which is Second Maccabees, and went on to expound. But we'll keep it short for the next lesson. So hold on, wait a minute.